Still open that. Okay, it says it's transferring data.
Hmm. Well,
It's not opening completely up.
when on mine, I was just able to keep scrolling and it brought up all categories and the instructions for each one. So it is in there.
Right. I don't know what.
If you go down, well,
Because it's being, let me see, if I go farther down,
that's it.
right here.
Yeah, just and then just keep scrolling because each one of those is you don't have to pull.
Okay, here we go. And so this is the one for Communication Starlight Award form.
And this year, since the convention is going to be earlier, it's the first week in March. The February 1st date absolutely has to be the deadline.
Right. Okay.
That would be the major thing to emphasize.
Mm.
But all the forms are there and it tells you exactly what to do for each one that you submit. The
Right.
membership, there's several that other people take care of. So membership is taken care of by someone else. And what was the, is it uh, quality of life or community service? Seems like those two. You send your information to them and they present those awards. But the rest of them are our responsibility or were our responsibility. So
Mhm.
I think that if we point people to this information that's on the website and have all the regions copy it and then use it for their groups, it will be less confusing. And that's what we tried to do this past year, but obviously some of the regions did not get what the information that they needed. And we were a little disappointed in the number of awards that were given this past year. So maybe they'll increase. The other things that the recognitions has to do is deciding that deadline and making sure this information gets to everyone. Um, they have to come up with a theme, and we can the the theme can be several things, and have the executive board and maybe the administrative council, I'm not sure, decide what they think and then everyone vote. Or you could just go with the second place choice for last year. And that was the boots on the ground idea, which would be Cal
Mhm.
Western and stuff like that. So you have that option, I think, to make that decision whether you'll just go with the second place winner for last year or pick something different. So the I think the and deciding whether or not you want to have a presidential award included again. So, do you
Sondra, I
have
have a question.
okay?
Is the presidential award, is that different than the president's awards that Linda presented? Because she did present a number of president's awards that were not under the committee. She did that separately.
Yeah,
So does the committee have what is the president's award that the committee presents? And what are the president's awards that Linda presented last year?
Okay. Well, this is the form. This is actually the form to complete.
right. And that can
Mhm.
be completed by the president, or it could be completed by someone within the local that wishes to write the
Mhm.
qualifications down for the president. That was the one we went by the year before.
Mhm. Yes, because Linda had used this. I think this is one that she had kind of spearheaded a bit, and to recognize local unit presidents
Okay,
who have served the mission of NCRSP with distinction.
okay.
Yes, and I think it's a worthwhile award to stick
Mhm.
with, but you can make that decision since it's not one of the regular awards that had been presented in years past.
Right, and then the president, the state president may present awards of honorable mention above and beyond what the committee selects, right?
I would think that would certainly be
Mhm.
the case. So now do any of, well, the other comments that were there, of course, the interruption in the program for the dancers was a surprise to me because I had assumed all the while that they would be at the end of the program. But so when we got to the second part of the awards, some people had already gone up to bed, I guess, when we called their names. We didn't have anyone come up for the awards. So that was a little embarrassing, but um, that's what it was.
Mhm.
So if we decide to have something special this time, we need to make sure it happens at the end. So,
Tanya,
uh-huh.
Patricia Reagan, I have a question regarding the dancers, and maybe Tara can answer it. When the contract was drawn up for the dancers, did the contract include the time and the length of time that the dancers would perform?
Yes, ma'am, it did.
Then my question is, why was the awards committee not aware of the timelines in the contract so that this would not happen again?
Mhm.
In actuality, that portion of their contract was handled with the actual contact, which was Bobby Stern, who was part of the Recognitions Committee at that time. He's the one who facilitated the contract with them. They have a standard contract that once you acquire their services, it is customary for them. They have the timeline that's basically put out for them.
Mhm. And if I may include that moving forward, should there be any type of entertainment that is under contract for the banquet, that the committee also have a time to review the contract to see if there are any time stipulations, and that we make sure that those are honored.
Sure can.
I think that's a very good suggestion.
Mm-hmm. Because it's right now for us, it really is, just moving forward. We kind of learned a lesson. Now we have to act like we learned a lesson.
Exactly. I think I sort of felt like it surprised Bobby as well
Right.
because we had talked many times and he had not said we're going to interrupt the program. Oh gosh, until that evening, of course, he came over and said they are here and they need to perform so that they can be finished. And anyway, it was very uh, unnerving at the moment, but I appreciate everyone sticking in there. For the majority stayed, but I felt that was not the best way to handle that. But anyway, we learned. So do any of you have any other questions? It's pretty cut and dry what we have to do. The hardest thing is getting people to turn in the information in a timely manner. And and then collecting it, making the information available to whoever's going to print certificates, and the design patterns for the certificates. I thought everything was beautiful that they came up with this year for the certificates were certainly quite attractive. So,
My comment from the convention regarding the program, I thought the program was set in place. Some of the awards that were presented, I think it came as a shock that the committee was not aware of additional awards being presented. So I think if other awards other than those that's on the printed program are going to be given, I think the committee needs to be aware so that can be a time constraint built in.
Mhm. I would suggest that the committee, when the committee meets, just take a look at the awards that we already have and then decide if there will be additional categories. And then if there are, then what the criteria would be for that, because it makes it a little more challenging when categories are created and not necessarily in a timely manner. But if we're going to just use the categories that are under recognitions online, then those are the ones that the individual or the local or however it's going to be determined will match that criteria or possibly not. Does that make sense, Pat?
Yes, it does, and thank you.
Mhm. Yes, but let the committee take the lead on that.
um, well, in terms of the banquet itself, the food was excellent.
Hmm.
We can do that well again. Oh my gosh, that was surprising to me. I don't think I've ever attended a convention where the food was so good. Even the luncheons, the food was tasty.
Mm,
So,
it's always a plus.
yes, my concern for next year is it the very same place we had used the year before, because the size is going to be a concern for the space for the banquet and so is it the same as we had the year before this when we were all so crowded, or is it
Oh, no, it isn't there. I believe it was 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, that we were at the Embassy Suites in Cary,
uh,
and they do have the space. I don't I don't remember that there was a separate room because I'm thinking that the room was flipped. We finished and then they came in. Tara or Carol may be able to help with that answer.
They did flip the room.
okay?
But
Mhm.
there was enough space, am I correct?
There was plenty of space, yes.
Okay, that just makes the decorating the room a very precise time constraint to get in there and make sure that
Hmm.
it looks festive. But knowing that in advance will be fine.
Sonia, another thing on that Wednesday, first day, as we was trying to decorate after the lunch was served, we did find that a lot of the delegates, when they left the RA floor, they came in and claimed their tables and they put their delegation materials in the chairs. So that caused some concerns. We also had delegates coming in flipping chairs, and which means this chair or this table is reserved, which became a hazardous for walking because now you have all these chairs legs hanging out for someone to trip. So I think that is something else that we need to uh, look at again. In addition to that, I think when we allowed the regions to decorate the tables, it became another claim. This is where we're going to sit. So when all those things happen, you kind of cut away from open seating. So I would like to hear comments from others who observe this.
I think that was a big surprise, wasn't it? We thought we were being so smart to have the table decorations furnished, and then nobody had to worry about that necessarily. And then people became possessive of their centerpieces, and they wanted to sit where their centerpieces were. So, but maybe this year they'll all be the same.
And also, son, you're probably not even aware of this because this happened about 5:45 when Tama came in to probably look at where her members or delegates were going to sit. Someone had already claimed all the tables. So we had to then go back in and figure out which region had too many tables, and we figured that out. So I think we need to figure out from each region how many tables would be needed and a portion of another table. If, for example, Tama and another region, they had to share a table because Tama needed 6 of the chairs of the 10, where the other region needed 4. But we finally got the numbers accounted for about 6 o'clock, so that Tama, I think it's Wake County, will have their seats available. So we shouldn't have to be figuring that out at 6 o'clock.
Thank you for doing that, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, open seat. I like the open seating idea because it's a chance to meet people from other parts of the state instead of us just being in our groups all the time. But that was our idea.
Well, I think this year, whoever chairs the convention, I think if the Awards and Recognition Committee, if they were to decorate the tables and they're not having all to be the same decorations, then I think open seating would be a little more convenient and visible, and there would be no table tents or no recognition by regions.
Mm-hmm.
These are all good suggestions. And so I'm not chairing this year. I will assist.
Well, and the committee can decide that because knowing what the comments were, it does give some direction.
Yeah.
And when decorations are purchased or provided by a region and they place them on a table, that's kind of staking their claim.
Yeah.
So, so if there's a way for the direct decorations to be placed or given so that there is no connection with a specific region, that may encourage the delegates to sit. Well,
Yeah.
actually, let it actually be open seating.
Yeah.
And then hopefully they will, as you were saying, get to know somebody new.
So Ira made such beautiful arrangements. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
wanted to sit where hers were.
Right.
and and I want to commend the fact that she put her arrangements up for in the for the auction, which
Right.
got us provided some more money for the foundation. So that was commendable.
And that is that would be a really good idea that the table decorations, especially if they are donated or even if I would guess some funding came from the the committee's line item, something to discuss, then those decorations could be put up or could be part of the auction afterwards.
Mhm.
And then kind of take it from there. I mean, you never know.
And we sold the banners and the Hawaii decorations too in the auction. So, and
Right,
for a little bit.
right.
Great.
'Cause- Yeah, because I know that having somewhere to store all that for another year just becomes a little bit of a headache.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. So, if those decorations can come in, serve their purpose, and then be repurposed and benefit the foundation, that would be even better.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we need to, I saw the post this morning with the new person in charge of the calendar. That information needs to get out to everyone, I guess, and
Mhm.
send in all meetings and the times, and that gets printed in advance. We were, some of our meetings were held earlier in the day, and then some were held in the evening, trying to accommodate people who had jobs and needed to be elsewhere until about 5. So, but we'll have to consider that as well. Maybe just get a special time and keep that one. We did
Mm.
meet every month though by Zoom. Check.
Oh, okay.
Miss Pat kept me on that, kept me up on that to say we need to meet. So,
Okay.
You have a hand raised, Sandra.
okay, I don't see it, but oh yes, hey.
Ira.
Hi, Sonia. Thank you for the opportunity to work with you. I really enjoyed that. And you know what? I forgot my question. Oh, I remember. You mentioned the date for next year. What is that March date?
For the banquet,
Yes,
Wednesday, March 10th, because the
March 10th.
convention will be
Okay.
March 10th and 11th, and the banquet will be on the 10th.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there additional comments or any questions for Sondra? Okay. Well, if not, thank you so much for attending the recognitions training workshop today.